Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. It's been a little heavy, I feel like, a little dense in the energy. I know we have a new moon tonight in Libra and Mercury retrograde, which usually is about communication and technology, which I think we all saw this week can go a little haywire. So yeah, I feel like it's just been a lot riding the waves. So if you're feeling it, just, feel with it, be with it, allow yourself the rest, allow yourself the space, and to just like notice what's coming up and yeah, just starting anew for the new moon and being with it. So thank you also everyone for voting on my polls this week. Let's see. I didn't cut my hair yet, but it is going to happen. About like 70% of you said chop it off. And the mini, like the workshops that I'm looking into, either Reiki or mini clarity readings, it was about like 50-50 for each. So thanks guys. I'm gonna try and figure out a way of how to incorporate or do both. So be on the lookout for those and make sure you're on my email list to make sure you don't miss anything. And I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So card reading time. Take a moment, center yourself, ground yourself, ask yourself what you want some guidance and clarity on, either today or this week or for the new moon or for the season. Lots of stuff to choose from, but just go with whatever calls you first. Just gonna set the intention, let it be a clear channel, clear vessel for you, and gift you with the messages that you need to hear, maybe not necessarily what you want to hear. Had lots of those, I feel like, recently too. All right, and then if you're gonna be group A or group B, in group A, let's see. I have like the cards like splayed out below me, and I choose, okay. Group A is the Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of like, your guides are kind of like pushing you right now, being like, okay, it's time, like, it's time to share your gifts. It's time to step into your priestess, your goddessness. They're kind of almost like, I feel like they're like, we've been waiting, we've given you time, and now it's your time to do it. Like you've done a lot of the transformation. There's like a snake here, so it seems like you've done so much work and like you just need to really step into this power, into this knowing of how powerful you are. Like you've done the transformation, you have the glowing power of the gold transformation. Like your hands are lit up, like you're so powerful, and especially your solar plexus, which is like where you have your power and your center and your being. So it's really giving you that nudge to be like, and it's almost like what you've been like, it's like you've been like wanting this. So you've been like, I want to step into my power. I want to do this. I want to be able to heal. I want to transform this. I want to like step into my new being. I want to step into my new self. And you're kind of not realizing that like you're there, and you need to like allow yourself to like recognize that you're there, and allow yourself to recognize that you're like in, like, start being it, like not necessarily it's like less of like the wanting the transformation or wanting the healing or wanting to step into the power. It's kind of like, it's here, it's ready, it's your time. And so like be in that. It feels like that's a little uncomfortable for you to hear and a little uncomfortable for you to kind of be in. So it's definitely going to be, kind of like a taking time with yourself and like grounding with yourself. And it's like, okay, like acknowledge how far you've come, acknowledge all the work that you've done, acknowledge like think of where you were this time last year and think of where you are now, and like how much you've grown. And it's like, okay, like who am I now going to be? Who is this being, like this powerful goddess that I've been like wanting to be, and this priestess that I've been wanting to be, who's like powerful and wings, and like they look like wings to me, like light and powerful and like in your being. So it's kind of like, all right, how am I going to be this in my human self in this everyday life? Because you're there, you're ready, and you're more powerful than you're believing right now. So if this is like your little nudge of letting you know that like you are there. If you're asking for guidance on like a specific thing, like you can do it, you can handle it, you can be in your power, you can speak up for yourself. I feel like a lot of stuff that's been coming up lately, again with Mercury retrograde and communication, it's been like throat chakra stuff and clearing and like being in your power in that way. So if that speaks to you, if there's something like you want to like have said or be, but this is your little nudge that you're there, you're powerful, and you've come a long way. So allow yourself to like be in this power, acknowledge this power, and yeah, like it's really beautiful. And it's also like I'm definitely getting the feeling, the sense of like the uncomfortableness that you're feeling hearing this, and the nudge from the guides of being like, okay, you're here, like you got this. So just trying to see if there's anything else. Okay, that's what I'm getting for now. All right, so if that resonates for you, let me know. All right, group B. This one kind of like is eyeing me up. Okay, group B. You have the Mirror card. I laugh because personally I don't like this card very much, but it probably because it is one of the most truthful things. I mean, they all are, but like, all right, so it says mirror who or what is triggering you. Okay, so our triggers are our teachers, right? As much as might not want to like, we don't like that, right? Every trigger that we have is an opportunity to learn about ourselves, and it requires like the deep work. So like the really deep, honest, truthful work of looking at yourself, not blaming the outside, not blaming somebody else. It's like taking that little nugget of like, oh, I'm being triggered. What does this mean about me? Right? Like what internally is being triggered about me? Is it because like there's like a wound there that needs healing? Is it because you're realizing that like you don't like when someone does something, but you do the exact same thing? It's like when people grow up and they're like, I don't want to be anything. I don't want to do this that my mom does. Like my mom does it this way and I don't want to do it that way at all. And then like you grow up and like one day you realize like, oh my gosh, you're doing the same thing, maybe in like a slightly different way, but like it's the same thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, like that's like your trigger, that's your teacher. So group B, like I'm not getting that this is necessarily like a hard, deep thing for you. Like it's just it feels like a little bit lighthearted of just kind of like definitely not being judgmental with yourself, not getting mad at yourself if you're being triggered, definitely looking at it with curiosity. And I feel like this usually comes up with the people who are closest to us, of course, our relationships. Again, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde, Libra, relationships. Look at your relationships, what triggers you the most. But it also seems like doing it in like a lighthearted way, just kind of like taking yourself up and out of it and like looking from a bird's eye view at this picture and like taking yourself out of it and be like, okay, there's like this relationship with this person and this person. What is like being triggered, you know, kind of like looking at it from above and like then seeing kind of like how that relates to you. But this is definitely a time for deep reflection, not again, like not in like the hardest of ways, but really making sure you take the time to sit with yourself and just kind of like reflect on yourself and your relationships and noticing what's being triggered for you and what does that mean internally. You know, it's really just a time to not ignore maybe things that you've been ignoring and really see that reflection for what it is. And again, sometimes I feel like this seems like it needs to be like really hard or really deep or really long. And like, yes, I'm saying it's deep. Like you need to like be honest and very truthful with what you're seeing, but it doesn't, at least for this week right now, it doesn't seem like it is so forced and so like thinking it's going to be hard or painful. Like it seems kind of like really light of just being like, okay, I'm going to look at what's triggering me here. I'm going to look at what's going on here. And then I'm going to see what maybe needs to shift, what needs to change, whether it's in the relationship itself, whether it's within you, you know, your relationship with yourself. Like, you know, are you doing something that's triggering yourself? So really just taking that time to look at that reflection, look at that mirror, especially in relationships, which of course that makes sense coming up. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be like a nice experience. Like it feels like very beautiful and very honest and truthful and just kind of like, it's almost like you've been like busy and going and just not necessarily like purposefully ignoring things, but not taking the time to just kind of be like, okay, like looking at your triggers and your reflections. And we are all one. Everyone that you meet and interact with is like teaching you something about yourself. So it's always looking like, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? Like every interaction is a reflection of you. So just kind of like take that nugget with you for this week. Okay, so that is it for our card pool. If you want more personal guidance, you can book a clarity reading in the link in my bio. If you want more like healing support, Reiki healing is there as well. So let me know if you have any questions, which card you chose, how it resonated, and have a beautiful week. I hope things lighten up with the moon and the retrograde eventually ending at some point. Hopefully things get a little bit lighter. So talk to you soon.